Hello again. Well, today's lesson that I wanted to share with you, which is sort of a complement to the one from yesterday, is to be spiritual. And the reality is that science only gets you so far. It's not always apparent or obvious how important spirituality is, but you'll grow to appreciate it in time. Some of the most important people in the world were important because they understood how important faith is. And I'm not sure you'll choose a religion or not. We won't choose one for you. But that's separate from the connection that you owe yourself and the people in your life. Growing up, it was like we were a mixed religion family. Your grandpa was a Hindu, but not particularly religious for the bulk of his life. And your grandma, Grandma Patsy, she grew up, my grandma, Miriam, Ma, as we called her, Miriam Solomon, by the way, which is where you get your name from. She was like Episcopalian. She was pretty religious, I guess, but nothing crazy. Like we weren't like church going people. Later in life, Pops, he did become a bit more religious, I guess, right? Started to like practice his faith a bit more. For me though, and by the way, Grandma Patsy converted to being, a Hindu at somewhere along the lines in there as well. After Pops died though, I don't know. She's sort of like in between a little bit, I guess. But I was an odd one, I guess, when it comes to religion. I probably started practicing and obeying more of the faith, like the Hindu things, probably due to your family in Canada that I spent a lot of time with, and became more observant about like the things I ate and things like that. That was young, like 11, 12. And then I would say probably the bulk of my my life, my younger life, I guess, I was agnostic. I just, I couldn't really say for sure that there's like a God, but I also can't scientifically say there isn't one, I guess, right? Is sort of where I leave it. But also growing up, my two best friends, your Uncle Zaki and Tony. Tony was Thai and Zaki was Muslim. And Tony was Buddhist, right? And so I just had a lot of exposure to different, religions as well. And so it wasn't until like I was in college, probably the only grade class that I ever was proud of in my entire life. I took this one class at NYU. It was called Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism. And, I had a 4.0 in college at that point. And I remember getting into that class. It was a huge auditorium at NYU. It was like 400 or 500 students in the class. And, we did the first test or whatever. And then we handed it in, and the professor sort of like gets on stage and he's like talking to the class and he's like, he's like, I don't know what's up with you guys. Like, but he's basically like, there was only one A in this entire exam. Right. And I was like, man, that sucks. Like, I didn't think I was going to do that bad. I was the one who got the A, by the way, and ended up getting an A in the class. But, it was such a great exploration because you got to see these different faiths that are different in different ways and also very similar to each other. And I think over the course of doing that, I got over this idea that religion was the wrong thing. It's usually like the people who practice religion that probably take it in places that it probably wasn't meant to go and doesn't really say it should go, but they bend it and twist it to do whatever it is. So I forgave, I guess, that part of it in my mind when I was like sort of ending college. Since then, I'm not religious in any real way. I'm still, I would say, spiritual, I guess, right? I still believe and understand that every day we put energy into the world, and that energy has an impact on things. I know, not talking about any kind of, other forces or things like that. But I just think it's important to be a good person. I think it's important to care about others. I think a lot of the concepts in sort of the teachings of a lot of religions are just generally things that I think are good, um, and they encourage behavior, I think, that helps us be better to each other and helps us live better together. I don't like all the prescriptive stuff and all the stuff that's sort of like telling you exactly how to act and what not to do and these kinds of things. I find those a little, odd to me, and I don't think that they serve a lot of purpose. I think a lot of those things even are anachronistic and just don't even fit into time. But anyway, I do think it's important to be not just a purely rational person, but also to be a spiritual person. And to the extent that you can do that, I think you will have a very balanced life. And a balanced life is likely going to be a great life. And so for today, that's the lesson I just want to leave you with. I love you, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. All righty.